Hello, everybody. Mr. D here. Let's go ahead and do Unit 14, Lesson 1, pages 372 to 381 in your Grammar Explorer 2 textbook. So, goals for this lesson. We will learn, we will practice verbs, specifically transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. We will also look at direct and indirect objects using to and for, and the word order with to and for. Let's first study the difference between transitive and intransitive verbs. So what is a transitive verb? A transitive verb is followed by a direct object. So the direct object is a noun or pronoun that experiences the action of the verb. And it answers the question who or what. Okay, so let's look at some examples to make it clear. John lost his keys. So lost is a transitive verb. His keys is the direct object. It tells us what he lost. They bought a cake for their son's birthday. So bought is a transitive verb. And what did they buy? A cake. So a cake is the direct object. And we rented a car when we went to Hawaii. So again, rent is a transitive verb. And what did we rent? We rented a car. So the car is the direct object. Intransitive verbs are not followed by a direct object. They are usually followed by a prepositional phrase or an adverb. Okay, so the big difference is the direct object. Transitive verbs are followed by a direct object. Intransitive verbs are not. For example, the bus arrived at 5 p.m. So arrive is an intransitive verb. At 5 p.m. is not a direct object. Okay, it's a prepositional phrase. I only slept for 2 hours last night. So sleep, intransitive verb. For 2 hours is a prepositional phrase. And they waited quietly. Wait is an intransitive verb. Quietly is an adverb. Now, some verbs can be transitive or intransitive. For example, drive. He is driving his car. So in this case, it is a transitive verb because his car is the object. But we can say she drives slowly. In this case, it's intransitive because we use an adverb slowly. Same with open. He opened the door. Transitive verb because the door tells us what he opened. Or the door opened with no adverb or prepositional phrase. This is an intransitive example. But if you need more examples, look at page 374. Okay, so we saw intransitive and transitive verbs. Let's look at direct and indirect objects with to and for. Some transitive verbs are followed by a direct object plus for or to plus an indirect object. Okay, so for example, she showed the article to her friend. So show is the transitive verb. What did she show? The article. So the article is the direct object. And to whom did she show it? Her friend. So to her friend is the indirect object. I often get the mail for my neighbor. Okay, get is the verb. What do I get? The mail. And then for whom? For my neighbor. Now remember, direct objects experience the action of the verb. It tells us who or what. We like our teacher. Who do they like? Their teacher. An indirect object is usually a person who experiences the action indirectly. it tells us to whom or for whom. So he sent the package to his parents. To his parents is the indirect object. Who did he send it to? His parents. Another example, I bought a gift for my brother. Who did you buy it for? My brother. And here are some common transitive verbs that use to or for. So we use to with explain, give, offer, send, show, tell. We use for with buy, fix, make, get, provide. And with verbs like bring and take, you can use either one. So for example, Dr. Lin showed the results to the students. Okay, so with show, we use to, show the results to the students. They made dinner for their children. Okay, so make with for, so make dinner for their children. Brought, so Jim brought the report to his boss, or Jim brought snacks for the team. So with brought, you can use to, or you can use for. Okay, let's finish with the word order with to and for. So word order. With some transitive verbs, it's possible to omit or delete to or for and put the indirect object before the direct object. So let's look at an example. We bought some batteries for Tom. In this example, direct object comes before indirect, but we can change the order. We bought Tom some batteries. Okay, so notice that if you put in the blue the direct object first, you have to delete for. So in the first example, some batteries for Tom. Second example, Tom, some batteries. Put to or for plus the indirect object after the direct object. Okay, do not put it before. So incorrect to say, he brought to my mother some flowers. No, remember, if you use to, it has to go at the end. So for example, he brought some flowers to my mother. Or he brought my mother some flowers. Okay, so in the blue, you have the indirect object. And just remember, if you put the indirect object first, you delete to or for. If you put indirect object second, you keep to or for. When the indirect object is a pronoun, like me, you, he, she, it is common to put it before the direct object. For example, my cousin owes me money. Or Jamal showed us the city. In the first example, you can say my cousin owes money to me. But because me is a pronoun, we tend to put it first. So my cousin owes me money. When the direct object is a pronoun, it always comes before the indirect object, or it always comes first. So it's incorrect to say, she got her sister them. No, she got them for her sister. So maybe them can be shoes. So she got her sister shoes. She got them for her sister. Okay, the direct object is a pronoun, so it has to come first, or it has to come after the verb. Okay, please do the classwork. It'll be good practice. If you have questions, let me know, and don't forget to turn it in on Canvas. Thank you.